Hi, I'm Charlie Cowan. Welcome to American Farmer. Breakthroughs in animal health and nutrition are increasing feed efficiencies and improving animal performance. Learn more next.
Dairy cows require amino acids to make milk and muscle protein, to make the protein in a growing fetus, and to make the proteins they need to maintain themselves. Each of these proteins is made up of a different profile of amino acids. A cow will require different amounts of each of the essential amino acids, depending on her stage of lactation, growth, and pregnancy.
We basically based our nutrition on what we call the Wendy system, which is crude protein, crude fiber, ash, and ether extract. And we knew that we needed to go beyond just crude protein. But people were beginning to do research on amino acids. It was a recognition that we needed to be a little bit more sophisticated. In poultry and swine, it's simple. They're monogastrics, relatively speaking, it's simple. But unfortunately, you've got this thing in the cow, which is degradable protein is needed in order to feed the bacteria, and the bacteria are the important thing. And then we developed an amino acid submodel. Well, HJBaker funded that. They funded the first amino acid submodel to be put into a nutrition model. We couldn't have done this without the help of HJBaker.
As a world leader in agriculture's feed, fertilizer, and sulfur industries, HJBaker provides its customers with extraordinary knowledge and service.
The history of HJBaker began with two brothers who had a fertilizer business in New York City, and much of their business was for bringing in fertilizers for the farms in the surrounding boroughs of New York City throughout the late 1800s and the early 1900s. My great-grandfather, Frank Morris Smith, began working at HJBaker in the early 1900s, first as an office boy and later on as a partner, and ultimately owned the entire company. That also was importing various different hardwares and glasses and tools that were coming in from Europe to be used in the United States. That branched off into a much bigger program of importing fertilizers for a variety of different uses. At the time, fish meal was produced in the United States for its oil content, which was used to supplement the whale oil industry for lamps. And in fact, the fish meal was a byproduct and used primarily as a fertilizer. It was later that they realized that it could be best put to use as a nutrient for its protein content. And we began to be very much involved in fish meal, which led us to the development of our ProPak product line. ProPak was intended to be a product for the poultry industry that essentially replaces menhaden fish meal on a nutrient-to-nutrient basis. And that was very much an important part of our business for 25, 30 years, when all of a sudden we had a new idea, which was the development of a similar concept for dairy cattle. ProLac was born. That also led to further developments and innovations in the area of encapsulation of amino acids. And we now have our Metabolize and Metabomet products that are being offered in the industry. In 2015, we have 5 members of the Smith family active in the management of HJBaker.
HJBaker has been in business for a very long time. They're probably one of the older feed companies in the United States. You don't get to be that without having some good QC behind your name, right? And some integrity to go with it. So you combine all those things together and you look at the quality of the materials that we bring in and our quality control that we have in-house. We're able to produce that at a very safe and economical standpoint. Feed quality is a big component of today's producers' bottom line. You have to have good quality ingredients if you're going to get good production out of your animals. It all starts with quality.
HJBaker Animal Health and Nutrition Division specializes in formulating precision protein products that increase feed efficiency and improve animal performance.
ProLac is one of the historic products for HJBaker. It's been around for decades. So ProLac came into an evolution heavily utilized in the dairy sector. It's a form of natural bypass amino acids. They're highly digestible, and so when you combine a high bypass value with a high digestibility factor, you're going to optimize performance of that particular product that you're supplying the dairy cow. Prolac is one of these ingredients that supplies a lot of highly digestible proteins to the animal, where we can see increases in milk production of 1 to 2 pounds on average. You'll see milk components improve. Milk fat, milk protein oftentimes will go up as well. That's all due to the fact that that animal has a high genetic potential to produce a lot of milk. So the question really is then, are we supplying her with all of her nutritional needs for some of these critical nutrients today? And that's this whole new concept, if you will, of nutrition. It's the evolution of precision ingredients that are going to target a specific period in time in the production cycle of an animal. So now we're not going to be swinging a big hammer. We're going to be looking at it at a much more strategic, tactical approach, where we're supplying ingredients in the first lactation in that transition cow diet. And then you carry that on out, and it springboards that cow, gives her the opportunity to have a higher lactation curve throughout the cycle. Fast forward to the beef industry, we're just now getting to the point where we're starting to say, with these rumen-protected amino acids that we have available to us today, is there an opportunity for us to utilize those in our operations? We have an animal that's growing at a very high rate, and so can we come in and supplement that animal with a rumen-protected amino acid to produce more protein in a short period of time? Much like what they do on a broiler today. They feed a broiler amino acids. Broilers are going from day 0 to day 45, day 50, and you have a bird that's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 plus pounds sometimes, depending on the operation. That is only going to happen with these precision type of ingredients, i.e. supplementation with amino acids. The same thing to the beef sector. You have genetic potential of these animals today to, grow at a very high, rapid rate in a short period of time. Well, what could we do if we came back in and supplemented those animals with a rumen-protected source of amino acid, i.e. lysine? Lysine is typically considered to be one of your first limiting amino acids for growth. If we came back in and filled a pothole, if you will, on the nutritional deficiency side of that animal, then you're going to realize more gain. And at the end of the day, what does that do? That's going to put more money in your hip pocket. That's the bottom line.
And now back to the show.
Balancing for amino acids in dairy herds delivers more milk and improved milk component quality using less crude protein.
Well, the farm was actually established back in 1861 by my great-great-great-grandfather. And we started dairy farming here in about 1954. And so we've been producing grade A dairy products since that time, so that's about 60 years, I guess, if my math's correct. Well, we own about 940 acres. We probably farm about 1,200 acres altogether. We raise corn for silage for the cows. We raise corn for grain as well. We also raise forage crops. We raise ryegrass for hay. We raise wheat and barley for hay and some barley for grain. We also raise some soybeans as a cash crop. Presently, we are milking about 200 cows. Our production today is about 80 pounds per cow for the entire herd. The herd is divided into 2 groups. I think the top herd is producing around 93 pounds of milk per day.
Metabolites is added to our dairy concentrate that we purchased from Tennessee Farmers Co-op. They add it in and we blend it on the farm with our other forage ingredients that we have available here. Our TMR ration consists of corn silage, sorghum silage, ground shell corn, alfalfa hay that's purchased from out west. We use wheat baleage, ryegrass baleage, some barley baleage. All that's blended in our TMR wagon along with the concentrate that we purchased from Tennessee Farmers Co-op. We put out fresh feed for each group twice a day. Then the feed is pushed up to the neck rail about 6 times a day. Push the feed up so there's fresh feed available for the cows all the time. Our top producing group of cows, we saw an average increase of 5 to 6 pounds production before the beginning to use the product.
With Metabolize, we saw immediate response in the neighborhood of 2 to 3 pounds. And we also saw an increase in our solids. So we thought with those type of increases, it was a very profitable decision for us to make. And we've had it in our ration ever since then, which has been about 2.5 to 3 years now. Currently at our farm, we're milking approximately 275 cows. And right now we're averaging 92 pounds. And for the first time ever, we've got 3 cows that are going to make over 50,000 pounds of milk, and this is a first for us on our farm. So adding Metabolize to our ration has helped us go to another level in our production.
Well, here at Sparkman Farm, they feed a TMR ration, which is a total mixed ration. And within that ration, they put the forages they grow on the farm, and then the feedstuffs that they buy outside the farm, which would be whole cottonseed and a feed supplementation from Tennessee Farmers Co-op. Within that supplementation from Tennessee Farmers Co-op, we have Metabolize and Prolact, which those are 2 of HJBaker products. Metabolize is an encapsulated amino acid, and what we're trying to do whenever we look at the ration is balance our amino acids and get some bypass protein from the encapsulated amino acid lysine. Now on the second product is Prolact. It is a bypass protein source. What we're trying to do is increase the amount of bypass protein to the animal because the cow uses both rumen available protein and bypass protein, and they both have an important role in milk production.
We've talked a little bit today about Metabolize, which is one form of a rumen protected amino acid, i.e. lysine, that HJBaker offers. We also have another compound, Metabomet, that we offer with HJBaker. That is another amino acid, methionine. Methionine and lysine oftentimes are considered to be, first and second living amino acids in a production animal, a young growing animal, that is. And so anytime you have a situation where the animal is growing at a high rate of demand, i.e. preconditioning facility, we're thinking, there's probably a pretty good chance that we're going to have some deficiencies there. There's going to be some potholes for us to fill, right? And so you have to find these opportunities in the industry for these ingredients. They're not for everybody, but I think there are a tremendous amount of potential there for these particular ingredients as far as helping these backgrounding preconditioning facilities in the beef cattle industry.
We did a trial where we did it on a feed program and growing feeders, and then we also did it on a supplementation program for summer grass cattle on Bermuda grass. Primarily we did about 1,800 head on the feeder program. There was about a little over 900 in the control group and 900 on the program. We started that project sometime in late April, early May when we started procuring the cattle for it. And then that project went all the way into late July to the first part of August to wrap it up. We brought the Metabolize in a bag form, weighed it out, and then we applied 25 grams per head per day is how we applied it. After the cattle initially got processed and were ready to turn out to pastures, when we introduced the product and started adding it to the feed, and then we just monitored it all the way through. On the feeder program, we established that we had about an extra tenth of gain in our performance, average daily gain, and how we based that was based on the database that we keep on several thousand cattle over the years. We could go back and actually physically say, because this was in a production type setting where we tested this product. So we were able to pretty much confidently say we were receiving a solid 1/10 pound of gain, average daily gain improvement. And that gave us, based on the market values at that time and the cost of the product, we were looking at around a 50% return on the investment. There's not many products out there on the marketplace right now that can give you that. You kind of look at your implants, that's another product that can be similar in nature to give you that kind of return. We also did this trial on the cattle grazing Bermuda grass pasture. We included the product in there at the same rate. We were feeding 5 pounds per head per day, and we ran the trial for approximately a 65, 70-day period as well, and we saw just under 1/10 average daily gain improvement there as well, but that only gave us about a 37 to 40% return on investment there. When I saw that there was a performance of an 1/10 average daily gain improvement, and you got a 50% return on investment, like we said earlier, when you're looking for that edge, That's the kind of things you're looking for. Anything give you that kind of return, it'd be something you really have to consider.
HJBaker's precision protein formulas and industry expertise are powerful tools to help optimize performance and profitability.
Well, in the dairy industry, you're always trying to be the most profitable you can. And we're competing not only with other dairy farmers in the U.S., but we're also in a global market now. So being more profitable is something that's going to carry us into the future. We have our 4th generation on the farm right now, so it's very important for us to become more profitable at all times.
All great minds today in agriculture are working for developing precision agriculture so that we can make the best use of our resources to develop a sustainable solution to feeding our population. HJBaker's participation in agriculture is all about precision agriculture. Our feed ingredients are all concentrations of protein that are specifically designed to meet the needs of chickens or dairy cows or aquaculture in every area that we are involved in. Innovation is the key to our success as we deliver solutions to our customers. We will continue to invest in R&D and to develop new products to meet the solutions our customers are looking for.
For more information, visit www.hjbaker.com.